pin to it. He says if the participation of women in the labor force, if more of our mothers and sisters get into top roles, if a lot of companies bring empathy into their decision making and good solid leadership starts driving companies forward, he says $55 trillion is possible. So that group of champions are here. It's a great privilege to be here. And before I answer your question, sir, when I entered, I spoke to a couple of our mothers and sisters who were there. I said, I'm very sorry. I think I'm on time today. And I could very well understand what they were thinking inside. They said, you're 6 months late. So at the outset, I apologize. Couple of times I think we had to skip or postpone our, whenever, I don't know, sir, whenever we commit to FICCI flow, that exact day the call comes for me to go to Delhi. It has happened 2-3 times. After the date was given, I just landed from Delhi. I thought not again this time. So whatever happens, I will come. So I'm very sorry, things beyond my control, but still it's the greatness of you. You're able to put up with me and still have me here, sir. Now, to answer your question, sir, I am a very late starter in life. In the sense that I come from a small village called Thottambatti in Karur district. I think madam was sitting there. She comes about 60 kilometers away from my village in another place. And our choices are very binary choices, sir. 10th standard, if somebody asked me, what do you want to be? I had only 2 things in life. One, a doctor or engineer. And I knew I don't want to be a doctor, so engineer. So engineering where, again, no choice. Since my friend is going to a particular engineering college, counseling, I went and selected that engineering college. That's how the choices were made. And the real learning and growth started happening in the educational institution. When you sit inside, more awareness comes. You meet a lot of people from different backgrounds. So then 3rd year of engineering, I realized I don't want to become an engineer. So that is 3 years already into it. But what to do, sir? You have to complete the course, finish the course. The next best option I did was convince my father I want to take a break year off. Neither my father doesn't know what a break year, neither do I know what is a break year. But one thing we're very clear, let me take a break year, try and explore options to see what I really want to be. So that courage I got from my peer group, my friends and everybody. Because I'm talking of 2006-7. It'll be truckloads of placements. Day one, you see one company, 750 placements on day one. Economy was just booming. Day 3, nobody in the engineering college left without a job. All finished 2007, if I remember. 3rd day, flat 2,200 people got placed in the engineering college I studied. It's a great college, fantastic institution. But 3 days flat, it's over. But somehow I felt, instead of just going to the placement office, my resume goes to the first company that is coming to the campus. I randomly going to the first company, random some interview, and then getting a job. I thought I'll take a year. So that year is the most important year of me, sir, whatever, as a person, if I can comment. I forced myself to do a lot of uncomfortable things. In the sense, I didn't go to my house because I didn't want to make my parents feel uncomfortable. Again, a village, you know, the talk in the village is always, oh, this person's son studied, he didn't get a job, and looks like he's useless, looks like the family is useless. So I avoided going to my village for 1 full year, in fact 1.5 years. I took a lot of time to travel, meet people. I got a job, first job was a 6,000 rupee a job managing a reception of a coaching institute. I have to be there at 6 p.m., be there till 11 p.m. So fantastic. I learned so much about human psychology, meeting people, closing the office and walking out at 11. Then I started conducting small classes for people who are preparing for CAT. Then I felt I have to do an MBA. It was just a lead to another one, sir. I could say that a bit of clarity when I went to Lucknow, but it was a shock of my life. A person from the southern part of India, very conservative, landing in Lucknow day 1, just going there, coming out of airport, Hindi trying to negotiate, 200, he says 2,000, then 250, he says, 50 rupees less, 2,900. So managing that and going to the campus. So everything was a learning, sir. Beautiful learning for me in Uttar Pradesh. 2 years of beautiful time, challenging, navigating. So that opened up my life. Summer, I came and worked for Mr. Vijaykanth of DMDK party. Yeah, so he started something fresh. He wanted to bring some change. 2006, 2009 Lok Sabha elections. I was the first that batch of IIMs to come and intern with the political party. So after my internship, one thing became clear to me: politics is not for me. Especially Tamil Nadu politics is not for me. And seeing politics from inside, and Vijaykanth being such a great person, a very charismatic leader. Then again I went back. public service was the calling, because UP gave me that opportunity to see human beings for what they are. Poverty, murder, the greatness of human being, even somebody earning about 100 rupees, still maintaining the dignity in Purvanchal, the core part of Uttar Pradesh. I learned so much in UP, sir. Maybe if I haven't gone 2 years in Uttar Pradesh, I'm not sure whether I'm the person who's sitting here right now. Then civil service happened, went there, police happened, got a cadre in Karnataka. Cutting the long story short, sir, it is that 20 years to 30 years is a series of doing uncomfortable things in life. Going to North India, not knowing the language, uncomfortness. Getting into a campus where everybody has got either the first rank or second rank in their life, again uncomfortness. Then getting into civil service. Civil service was again a crazy story. It so happened that second year of my MBA, I was writing the civil service exam also. And it so happened when my third trimester was happening, the civil service mains exam was also happening. I wrote in my book also, sir. So I went and convinced the dean. So J.J. Irani was the chairman, Tata Sons, who was the chairman of IIM Lucknow. I went and convinced, I said, look, I have to write civil service because I'm given my life to it. I'm not sitting for placements, but I have to get my MBA degree also. Can you arrive at a solution? Then the solution they came was, everybody in the MBA will finish their exams in the morning and afternoon. I will write my civil service mains in the afternoon, come back in the evening, write the 2 MBA papers, again next day go and write civil service. It happened for 4 straight days. It's a lot of uncomfortable things. So, uncomfortable things. You have to write this, write that. Then getting into service, police training. First time you are getting exposed to that kind of a training. Physically demanding, mentally very challenging. Your abilities are getting pushed to the limit. Then getting into a new state. Again, I don't know nothing about Karnataka. Day one, no language zero language ability. Again, going to a small village. So, the point I'm trying to convey, sir, 20 to 30, my year was about doing uncomfortable things on a daily basis, learning new things. I personally believe, sir, a person like me or many people sitting here, it is life that opens slowly to you. And many people are not very fortunate. Life opens up just like that to you. And life has got this great mystery, like a small flower petal. It just opens up smallly, the mysteries of life. And for me, the mysteries of life was very deep down in policing. Every murder was a mystery of life. Yeah. And every human being who is a very honest guy, honest person, dying is a mystery of life. Somebody's children dying in road accident is a mystery of life. And some young girl, again I wrote very extensively in my book, sir, that a 10th standard girl getting raped and killed on an evening day is again a mystery of life. Me being there in the funeral and the mother talking to me that I don't care, you get the accused, you bring them, I don't really care about what you do, but I want my child back, just bring my child back. That was a mystery. And policing, what, sir, 9 years, 10 years of policing, you see crimes at a very humane level. Yeah. And 2 ways you can approach a problem. One, keep a distance to it, just approach it professionally, do the job and get out. That is one way of doing it. But maybe I didn't belong to that category. My category was more into get involved, try and find why it happened. Why Aksharat, I'm not supposed to tell the name of a girl below 18 years. Why the 10th standard girl got raped and murdered on that particular day. Is it circumstantial? Is it by life? Is it because life was not fair to girl? How criminals were born, criminals were made? Is society making a criminal? Is a criminal born? So this kind of things. That rumbling was happening for about 2-3 years, 2017-18. Then Kailash Mansarovar Yatra happened in 2018. So I just came, wanted to do something, NGO, politics, bring change. So from IIM Lucknow, the process of finding which is a better way to serve a fellow human being was a process. Got it. And when many people ask me, what do you want to be? I don't have a straightforward answer, sir. When somebody asked me at 12th also, I never knew. Because for me, I never saw life to just say, I want to be this. And with all humility, unless you see life, how can you say I want to be this? That's correct. And for me, that process took a long time. Maybe for other person, it just happened at 19, 20. For me, it happened at 30. Slowly seeing and seeing and seeing. So it's a great privilege of life, sir. Life is very kind enough for you to see a lot of things which you shouldn't have seen, and to take a lot of things personally which you shouldn't have taken it personally. Yeah. So my leadership, I'm very sorry, but my photo, you have put it so big. And my leadership, the transformative leadership, the topic that today I think you're trying to probe more, for me is all about approaching life with all humility, with a sense of open-mindedness, just allowing life to take where it wants to take you. In the process, trying to understand that you are part of a larger cosmic force. And in the process, trying your best to balance that karma in whatever decisions you make.
Yeah.
Of course, we will talk more with further questions, sir. Sorry, I took a long time to answer.
No, this is very helpful foundation to lay on some of the choices you've made. From what I am taking away, one, I think, important lesson for all of us is, get the foundation strong. And the foundation is mostly when you step out of your comfort zone. And some of your discomfort was self-imposed, but some also circumstantial. The situation forced you, like in Uttar Pradesh and so forth, to step out of your comfort zone. That's quite important. Of course, he refers to all of us, all of you, as mothers and sisters. For me, I would add daughters as well. He's still too young for that generation. So mothers, sisters, daughters have to contribute quite substantially. And so that's an important lesson for our daughters, I feel. Step out of your comfort zone. Make sure that you're exposing yourselves to things that make you quite unnerving, if you will, so that your character shapes up early on. And in a sense, that's the basis of where transformation begins. So then you cut over from public service to public life. And that was that Mansarovar trip where, based on deep reflection, you've now entered public life. It's been 4 or 5 years now. As you look back, what would you characterize as the biggest challenge you have faced?
So
at a personal level. Professionally,
yes,
I'm sure there are many.
Of course, I'm coming. Yes, sir. Now, for me, I am a person who's bravely talking about systemic change by being part of a party that is founded in 1980. Normally, who talks about systemic change? A person in a startup, you talk about systemic change. You want to do a business process reengineering, BPR, and then you want to change. That is a normal way of looking at politics. But I think I'm humble enough and bold enough, along with our team, to say a systemic change is the only solution to a politics that will actually serve us better. This is my number one challenge, sir. In the state of Tamil Nadu, it is an extra challenge when compared to the rest of the country. It is an extra challenge that you want to bring a systemic change here. It's a rich state, it's a prosperous state, a state that is very comfortable to say, my politics is okay, why do you want change? And a state that is very deeply comfortable to say, something is working, why do you want to change it? And a state that is very comfortable to say, when the airplane is flying, why do you want to go and repair the engine? So it is a choice always binary, this party, that party. Now, if I present you some indicators to say that we are on a deceleration mode, just a matter of time before other states are going to catch up. So that is my number one challenge, personally, to communicate inside to my team. Because when you have, most of you, I think the ability is to go as a team, sir. That is, once we understand it, I think we are altogether different human being.
Yeah.
Individually, it is impossible to do great things. Whatever company we run, whatever we do, it is impossible to do great things. But getting your team right, getting them in sync with what you want to do, and making sure that all wheels start churning towards a common direction. So that is my number one personal challenge, because I'm not at the public interface now, as I'm talking within the party. And the second challenge personally, sir, is politics is, somebody said it's a science, that's why you call political science. You go to a college degree, they say political science, you get a course. But it is not political science. It is everything combined into one. So you have science, you have emotion, you have luck, you have all kinds of things rolled into one.
Yeah.
And politics is, I would say, current Indian politics is very unnatural in the sense, the effort you put, the result you come might not be commensurate. And you got to have a long, extremely patience to get the change you want to see. And more importantly, the question of integrity gets tested every day. And every day, the integrity quotient gets tested. And in Kuridipunal, there is this famous dialogue. Kamal Haasan mentions a very famous dialogue. He says, every man has got a breaking point. The question is, when is your breaking point?
Yeah.
And politics, every day you keep pushing your breaking point. Maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, you keep pushing it. So personally, these are big challenge. One, within the team, and second, with respect to what you want to do, and there is no science to with respect to how the process happens. And third, how long you sustain it with a lot of patience, but you don't give up. You don't take recourse to a shortcut to get things happen. So these are the personal challenges that, as far as I'm concerned, for the last 3.5 years.
Remarkable, remarkable. So in a sense, if I were to draw a parallel to our business world, which many of us as entrepreneurs and business leaders are familiar with, there's a little bit of a duopoly or a small oligopoly that's at work. And here comes a startup that's trying to create a value proposition that wants to serve the customers, right?
Yes, sir. Sorry, since I was only looking at this side, I tilted my chair a bit. I'm extremely sorry. I think you have to repeat the question again, sir. Sorry.
No, I'm not asked the question, and I'm just summarizing for the audience, but this is a very important tip as well for us leaders. Don't address only one side of the audience. You've got to make sure you're making eye contact with the entire audience. Thank you, sir. Useful. So I think it's important for the startup to create a proposition, and that's what Sri Annamalai is attempting. First internally, if I understand correctly, and for us it's to our teams, our employees, staff and so forth. But I imagine communicating this to your consumers is also not an easy task, and particularly in such a visible profession where every word you say is scrutinized. There are a whole host of pundits who are analyzing it. Your head tilted this way gets interpreted a certain way. Your frown gets interpreted a different way. How do you handle these in the external world?
One of the greatest of great politicians, in my personal opinion, Abraham Lincoln, sir, a great guy who really fought to take slavery out. The 13th Amendment, with a lot of effort he brought to the American Constitution to bring that change, to abolish slavery, Emancipation Act. You all know, sir. But he didn't do it in one day. In fact, when the 13th Amendment got passed in the US, where the representatives were sitting, one person couldn't see what was happening because Lincoln was bribing people to get it done. And he's like, how can Lincoln do it? Such a great person, one of the greatest statesmen of our time. How can Lincoln do? Thaddeus Stephen, a representative, stood up. After the 13th Amendment got passed, he mentioned a word. He said, one of the greatest measure of the 19th century, passed by corruption, aided and abetted by the purest soul of America. I'm repeating it again, sir. One of the greatest measure of 19th century, which is abolishing slavery to say all are equal, men, women, black, white, all are equal. Abetted by corruption, because they have seen that 6 months what Lincoln has done to get people's vote. By that vote. Aided and abetted by the purest soul in America. So politics many a times is like that, sir. There is no direct correlation between good politics and good governance. There is no direct correlation. If you do good governance, doesn't mean it translates into good votes. It's not that. And that is where political leaders, some point of time, they become statesmen. When the transformational phase, Karma Veerar Kamaraj Raya, Rajagopalachari, Rajaji Ayya, if you look M.G. Ramachandran Ayya, they transcend into that statesman thing because over a point of time they become comfortable in communicating to the public at large. Of course, when we do this, there is pain. But as a society, we got to tolerate to move to the next level. So this is a bigger challenge, sir. Right now, it is all teethering problems. This will get solved in the next 5-10 years, sir. And second, with all humility, we have to understand this democracy is thousands of years old. And one Annamalai or one you or one somebody comes in, and there is no bandage fixed to it. Thousands of years old. By evolution, it has come to this level. At Athens, when the initial democracy was there, it was a show of hand. They said, if slaves raise your hand, I'll only count it as 1/3. You don't have land, you are not counted. That's how democracy started to make a decision. From there to come here, maybe 2,000, 2,300 years now. If you look at democracy, with all humility, we have to understand, sir, it is a natural evolution. And sometimes you cannot force it to people. You just cannot make something to happen tomorrow morning or day after. Unlike a business or a corporate or a startup, unlike that, especially in the politics, you got to have extreme patience. Extreme patience. Because when we say Modi ji is a great leader, till 51 years of age, he was not even a Panchayat leader. We have to keep this in perspective. And 51 years he prepared himself. So he got a chance in 2001 October. So 51 years of preparation translated into 13 years of CMship. Then it is getting translated into 10 years plus of prime ministership. So he's 73. Modi ji is one guy in all the political thing. You go to America, they say 70 is old. There is two competition between two people, 83 and 79, to say who is more older. Then suddenly they say you are younger, I am older. So here, if you look at one Indian politician who connects so much with the youngsters, it is Modi ji. That is always ahead of trend. What I'm trying to say, sir, you got to be very patient with the democracy. Many times you get frustrated that you're not able to communicate and either you are wrong or somebody is wrong. And the easiest thing for a politician is to put the blame conveniently on the public to say, you don't deserve good leaders.
Yeah.
And we have tried our best. Since you don't deserve bye-bye, I'm going to go and do some other work. So this in an Indian democracy is not the right approach. We might get our chance maybe 10 years from now, maybe 7 years from now, maybe 20 years from now. But the work that goes in has to be process driven. So what we did in 2024 was a process driven, sir, which is very new to politics. Most of the things that we do, we said, look, for BJP to emerge as an alternate political order in Tamil Nadu, first we have to stand alone, number one. It's a process.
Yeah.
Standing alone means you got to expand your breadth. So when BJP stood 23 seats in this Lok Sabha, sir, after 30 years, somebody in Lok Sabha got an opportunity to vote for Lotus.
Yeah.
In 30 years, BJP did not stand in Nagapattinam. 20 years, BJP did not stand in central Chennai.
Correct.
BJP did not stand in 16 out of 23 constituencies for 20 years.
Yeah.
So process driven. First go, put it. Don't worry. Results will come. Results will take care of itself. Second, process driven. To show that you are an alternate, say that we will not pay money for votes. Yeah. Second one you say. And again, don't worry about results. Results will invariably take care of itself. And don't worry about results. So this convincing is a problem. Because you have to convince. Because many a time in the battle, sir, the first guy who goes into a battle knows fully well he will get killed first.
Correct.
Because the elephant guy comes last. The horse guy comes before him. But it is that foot guy who marches with just a sword in hand and a spear in hand to say who's that. And this guy knows 80% is going to get killed. Correct. Because the spears are coming, the arrows are coming. And right now BJP Tamil Nadu is like that force which is traveling in the front. You got to take a lot of Brent. And for that, the mindset of a leader has to be different.
Yeah.
Because you are going to take the Brent, an ecosystem, 70 years, you are going, attack, personal attacks, all these things, navigating through it, sailing through it.
Yeah.
Then the next guy gets easier. But the question is how long the front guy will stand. So, sorry, I'm taking a long time again to answer each of the questions.
Yeah.
So to answer it, sir, it's very tough because you are selling something, making people to believe inside the party, brothers and sisters, it is not going to happen tomorrow,
yeah.
not next year, not 6 months from now. It will happen, but let us be process driven, number one.
Yeah.
So you have to make them to buy. Second, in a process driven, winning and losing doesn't matter because you are trying to bring some change. Number three, you will take a lot of Brent, but still it's part of the job, you go through it. So this is very, very important for me to sell everywhere. So democracy is like that, have patience. Internally, people should buy it, prepare them for longer run. Even if it's a 20 year process, prepare them. Because 1,000 years back, Rajaraja Cholan was there. Where is he now?
Yeah.
1,000 years back. Great governance, fantastic irrigation system, canal system, administrative, the way he measured the land, the way he distributed revenue, everything is fantastic. But where is he
expansion.
Now? Where is he now, sir? Even his last remains, we are not sure. And we have to do an X-ray to say whether he is in Odayalur, whether he is there. Nobody knows where is the last remain. So this is happening to one of the greatest of Tamil kings. Yeah. 1,000 years before, 1,000 years later, you don't even know where he is. So democracy will teach you to be very humble at many points of time, sir.
So in a sense, you're saying take the long view, persevere, be resilient, and growth will follow. I think Vicky Flo has done a great job of already getting the tagline in. No? Perseverance or persistence, resilience, and growth.
You're connecting it, sir, but you're very right, sir. The most important thing is teaching this to a young kid is very tough. Because what has happened, the environment has become so fast forward, result oriented. Even a child who goes to a school and we measure so much results today, results next month. In an app, they do daily. One school I thought daily they are grading a personality. I said, how can you grade a personality daily? And every day you open an app, they say today's score of outwardness, today's score of emotional ability, today's score, and the 365th day is the net score of all this thing. I don't want to name a school, and somebody told me with a lot of pride, you see there is a daily human ability calculator. I said this is, people are taking it to an extreme nonsense. In the sense that daily I can assess your personality, give you a score, and 365 this is the net score. So teaching these kids, the great things have happened in our life only because of patience, sir. Some of the greatest things. If you look at any of the greatest inventions, if you look at any of the greatest path-breaking discovery, if you look at any of the fundamental shifts that has happened in our country economy, if you read it any history, patience is the underlying thing. Yeah. People were willing to fight, grind through and get it. So now to the young startup kids, I make it a point, sir, to invite myself to go to a startup event because to learn what is happening here. That's a different world to me to go and see. And when many people I ask, why are you doing this? They say, 3 years, the valuation will be good. 5 years, it will be billion. And that I approach because you cannot be in it for something to grow a revenue because you got to solve something which humanity should progress. Because, sir, 50 years from now, nobody is going to remember us. 100 years from now, we are swept away from the pages of history. And 200 years from now, we are a small speck of dust somewhere in the grand universe. So, since we have one life, which is an average 75, 80 years, whatever that God has given us, take a bigger problem and solve it. And to solve a bigger problem, you need patience. And when you are inside, do a path-breaking discovery, solve some needy thing for me, for the person next to you, and solve something which people couldn't do it over the last 2,000 years. Why poor people still live in huts? Can I build a 1 lakh house? We are waiting for some solution. Why every 2 years the road gets washed away? Can you put me one road which stands for 15 years? And why still corruption is a way of life? Can somebody in politics find a way to root out corruption? So these things I think is worth dedicating our life to.
Sure. So at least what I'm taking away is Nishpala Karma matters. Don't worry about the fruit. Do your duty. Be process or input oriented. Don't worry about outcomes, they will follow. And persevere and persist in the grand purpose that you've chosen for yourself. I think very, very apt and pertinent for the start of a transformation. Of course, you're still relatively young and you have a long road ahead. Tell us a little bit about how you manage your time, because from whatever I've picked up in your public interactions and private interactions I've had a chance to be in, you're exceptionally well read. And you're able to quote from Abraham Lincoln to Rajaji to Tirukkural. So there's a wide range of reading that you get done. Yet it also feels like you have a very hectic schedule. You're in Delhi, you're landing, you're going to a meeting upstairs, you're coming down, you're very eloquently talking about a range of perspectives. And I just discovered you've also written a book in the middle of all this. So how do you manage time? How do you get stuff done? Because that's something for all of us is one of the scarcest resource, lack of time. Yet you seem to manage that very well. What is the secret here?
I still believe I have to do a better job at managing my time, sir, honestly. Because politics, what happens, sir, many of the events are very interconnected events. One leads to other. And this is a place where you can't show your face. You go to a first event, you can't see your watch. In front of a public, you see your watch, you're finished. And somebody is sitting in front of you. I think you have to see your watch. There's no other option, and you have to have a stop clock and say, I'm doing this. So for me, and for us, most of the politicians, sir, when people want to take that extra 10 minutes time also, you got to be there. Because people want to communicate something. And you take that extra time to convince them. And 10 minutes late. When you go to the final event, many a times it is almost 1 hour, 1.5 hours late. And many a time when I go to marriages, some busy muhurtams, you start at 6 o'clock in the morning. By the time you go to the last marriage, in one room the groom will be sleeping, one room the bride will be sleeping. It will be 12:30 and the party fellows will be waiting. Sir, we are waiting for you from 8 o'clock. I'm sorry. And we go and request, sir, can we meet them or can you call one of them? We will say. And many times you've got to do that kind of embarrassing situations also. So honestly, to admit, sir, we have to still do a good job at managing our time. But having said it, time management, I think it defines who you are as a human being, sir. I always believe a busy man always finds time. And they're very methodical, they're very well prepared, and they just don't hand their time just like that. And in politics, it is not possible to implement it strictly. But I think in many of the business houses, you have a very thorough, well-researched proposal, somebody controlling your time, and somebody thinking that your time is a very precious commodity that is worth all your effort, and preparing well for a meeting, you going in. So this Narendra Modi ji, and he is one guy, I think he is a master, sir. If you look at the world politics, we can say great things about Modi ji, but one of the greatest things about Modi ji is his pure time management. So he is very particular about time, and he invariably makes it up despite his thing. Is rarely late, very almost on dot, sir. Only the last part of the day might be plus 5 minutes, 7 minutes here and there. And that is a great quality, because one thing from Modi ji, what we all can learn, he has got a fantastic team. You are as good as your team. And many a time we think it is that we do it. And his team is phenomenal team. He has assembled over multiple years. And some of his team members follow him from Gujarat. And some of these teams are handpicked. Some of the teams rotate. And they're very clear. You seek 5 minutes, they're very clear. Why do you want 5 minutes? And what do you want to speak in 5 minutes? And what is the expectation for you out of Modiji's 5 minutes? And what is the key outcome that you want from him? So he's very well prepared when you go into a meeting. And that is one thing which I've learned from Modiji as a person. His team is so thorough, so resourceful. And second, it is the ability to be completely on in that moment. The problem with all of us, sir, when a meeting happens between you and me, when I'm completely on, when you are completely on, we can do it in about 10 minutes.
Sure.
When my mind is a little bit here, your mind is a little bit here, we will take about extra 3 minutes. So current generation, we drag ourselves from one meeting to other because we have a lot of distractions, cell phone, this Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, somebody scolding you, brand management, company problem. So what happened? None of us are fully present in the meeting. So this, I think, is a bigger problem in time management, sir. When you completely have the ability to switch off, switch on, be there at that moment, give that person complete time, I think your time management gets better. One is your team, one is your constant presence there. And third is a constant evaluation every week. How did the previous week go? And where did you lose time? Where did you gain time? What you could have done better? And many a times, sir, small people, big people. In our society, big problem in Indian society is we just like that classify people into big and small. And you say you're a small person, you are there, and you're a big person, you are there. And every small person or big person, whatever society's category in our mind, we have to understand, sir, everybody has got 24 hours. And everybody has got the right to audit this previous 7 days.
Sure.
Everybody. You be a tea shop owner, you be a cobbler, you be a bus conductor. And we don't sit as a society to see what did I do last week. And since we don't have this diary writing and being honest with ourselves, questioning ourselves. So as a society, we tend to be generally late when compared to most of the Western democracies. That is one thing we as a society have to do a lot of introspection to better manage ourselves and time. This is my humble answer to the question.
No, in a sense, time management is also a process. You've distilled it to a 3-step process of looking, learning from others, managing, and then reflection and introspection to course correct.
And I think you are the best in that, because you manage a business, and looking at your profile, we know that you have done multiple things in life. And corporates, I envy a lot of them. I remember 2 weeks back, there was an event in Coimbatore. Tata Sons chairman Chandrasekharan ji was there. And it's a book release function of a very evident doctor from Coimbatore. So when I was speaking, I mentioned, it's a great thing that you're able to bring Tata Sons chairman to Coimbatore. And normally their calendars are blocked 6 months, 1 year in advance. And it's a great thing that has happened because it doesn't come to a private function. It has come to a private function today. And I could really appreciate he coming on exact time. He wants to leave at a certain time, by which the whole organization is in a hurry. He will leave at 7 o'clock. Please finish, please finish. Everybody coming and telling behind our ears, please speak fast. So this lesson I learned that day, sir.
Yeah.
When somebody consistently maintains a standard to their time, the society and the organization will get adjusted to that person.
To that, correct. Correct. On that note, my job got infinitely more difficult because Fiki Flow is exceptional at time management. I have been instructed to wrap up by 6:22 in the minute-by-minute run sheet that was sent to me before the meeting. 6:22 to 6:25, we're supposed to give mementos to each of us and then pose for photographs and leave.
So they understand the basic trick in politics. When you don't have a direct answer, give a long winding answer. So naturally.
So Divya, please let us know at what time we should stop. Throw something at us because we can keep chatting, as you know, for a while here. Let me switch gears, sir. Since we are sitting amongst accomplished women, here's one question that one of our mothers, sisters, or daughters, as the case might be, has shared. What is your vision to empower more women at a grassroots level to drive economic development for the state or the country? I'm sure you've met a lot along the way. So how do you think about how we can really unlock a lot of latent talent and potential that today we are not using as a country?
So I just prepared some data before coming here. I found women comprise 22% of the total entrepreneurs in our country, which works out to be 15.7 million. 10% of all former enterprises are owned by women. 10% only. 2017, 10% of startups were owned by women. Now it has increased to 18% in 2023 startup registration. 14% of unicorns, we have 114 unicorns, have only 14% have one woman founder among the founders. Great thing about Tamil Nadu, 49% of startups have at least one woman founder. So this is our state is a leading indicator for many of the states. And we were very surprised when we were doing our data auditing for the Mudra loan that was disbursed. Tamil Nadu is #1 state in the country which gets more Mudra loans. 72% of our Mudra loans have gone into women-run businesses. We are #1 in the country. 72% of Mudra loans dispersed in Tamil Nadu. Mudra is small, medium, micro enterprise.
Correct.
It is run by women. So during last year, we took a yatra, sir. I couldn't believe this data. I thought either there's something wrong with the data because I'm not visibly seeing women entrepreneurs, women leaders, visibly seeing there. I mean, a male-dominated world, we are only traveling between meetings where a lot of male you see in positions of influence.
Yeah.
So last year we took a yatra, sir, Inman Yenmakal Yatra. When we traveled in all the 234 constituencies of Tamil Nadu, we made it a habit, a religious habit to invite all our mothers, sisters and daughters. Either they run a NGOs, in one constituency will be NGO meeting, one constituency will be a founders meeting, one constituency will be a women labor force meeting, one constituency will be a 100-day employment meeting. I was very surprised the quality and the quantity of micro women entrepreneurs in Tamil Nadu. Very surprised. For example, you go to Sivakasi Kovilpatti, sir. Lot of businesses, this Kadalamittai GI tag, they run it. Again, you shift to Manaparai, the Murukku, all the women micro entrepreneurs run it, which is not coming in a paper, which is not visible outside, but everywhere they run it. Then I understood, okay, this is where the bulk of the Mudra loans are going. Correct. People make puppet, appalam thing. Hundreds of women, they run a company, they have a brand, they build it. And Modi ji in one of the Man Ki Baat said, Government of India, it buys all its products from a portal that Government of India runs.
Correct.
And Modi ji said, look, my office flask, this is the flask which Modi ji drinks in his table. It was supplied by a woman-run business firm from Dindigul, Tamil Nadu. So he tried to promote, people are doing quality work, just don't look at big things.
Correct.
There are a lot of micro things happening, which I could feel it during the yatra, sir. But somehow, taking them to the next level is a big challenge.
Yeah.
People are there, and for comparatively in our society, sir, a woman does multiple things. And that is why wherever women run corporations, I see a significant potential that they are doing much better than male-run corporations. Many places I observe myself because the quantity of corporate fraud is very less.
Yeah.
I don't have the research paper now, but it's a fact. The corporate frauds happen less in a woman-run organization, and the quality of innovation is slightly better in woman-run corporation.
Correct.
The empathy factor is more, meaning that productivity level is slightly up in a woman-run corporation. But the problem, sir, is the society has to free the traditional notion of woman. That is very important in our society. In Scandinavian countries, you go, sir, till 7 years, the parents have to take care of the child. And 7th year, you admit them to a school. And the father is given a leave, mother is given a leave, both gets paternity, maternity leave, and they do it as a sharing business.
Yeah.
But in our case, the tradition notion is that, okay, this is a woman does this job, this is a male does job, and let them do this, let them do that. So what happens, sir? For a woman to come out of the formal economy, raise a child, bear a child, 4-5 years grow the child, then again a gap of after about 8-9 years going back into the formal economy is the biggest problem in our country we are seeing, which Madam Divya Abhishek mentioned it on one of her things that she wants to do that. This, as a society, we got to solve this problem. So it's a pertinent problem. You have some of the finely talented women, highly educated, double degree, right up to PhD. Once they get into a marriage break, getting them after 7-8 years into a formal economy, that is where they lose it. Second, the traditional notion of a glass ceiling, corporate CEOs, when you go up, after a particular point of time, they getting into influential roles. Government can give support, sir. They can say, look, this much percentage of your board should be women, and government can only push it. But somehow I still feel the society conscious is still not there, sir. Meaning that women are much better in doing multiple things, much better in doing certain things than men. So unless we appreciate and acknowledge this fact, then it is always going to be an unequal fight for them.
But there's enough research that proves this beyond any doubt.
Right.
That women are far more empathetic, far more effective, far less absenteeism, far greater trust in the work environment that they create. So research, whether academic or real life, bears this out.
Correct, sir.
What can we as leaders, and particularly Ficky Flow, do to overcome this barrier that you're talking?
Now coming to the second part, what is the problem definition? This is true, this is happening, I've seen this in my eyes with my experience. Now coming to solving that problem, I think you got to target the micro entrepreneurs, help them to scale big. This is a challenge which I see. The micro entrepreneurs could be an auto driver, which she mentioned, one. The micro entrepreneurs could be a person making a puppet. Can you take it to the next level, Appalam? Micro entrepreneur who's present in a village doing things, can you raise their level to the next one? For which it's important that we go deep down into the economy, sir, deep down. Because right now we are Chennai-based predominant organization, which is a very important organization. A lot of eminent people are here. They all run businesses, they do multiple things, Ficky Flow, they are part of it. Then events like this happen. How do you take this to a cold putty? How do you take this? Because once you start firing up those areas, sir, then sky is the limit. Second, the first part is how do you go deep down into the economy? Small towns, tier 3, tier 4. The second one is a larger awareness creation, sir. For example, engineering. When I go to IIT Research Park, I want to see women getting motivated in IIT to register a startup in IIT and running it. So now the era, only 14% of women-led founders out of 140 unicorn is unacceptable, sir. In a country like India, where 99% of goddesses are there, God is only 1%, only big guys are gods, which you call the Mahadevas. And you go to Kuladeva, it is all goddesses. You go everywhere, it is all goddesses. Such a country, a society that deeply respects women, that deeply believes even the mother, the head of the family, does all the important things in our life. But somehow that not getting translated into a premier educational institution. The second part I would say, premier educational institution, the top women should start becoming entrepreneurs. Number 3, including civil service, I would attack, sir. Though Ficky Flow is a business-based organization. Civil service, if you look at it, IPS, which is 100% suited for women. 100% straight away. You have empathy, you have patience, you can understand a woman better. 7%, 8%, 9% is the intake in Indian police service, where our mothers and sisters come in. So we have to do multiple attacks. One at the bottom level, try to spread it. One at the top level, where you make more people to go into it. So this will change a bit, is my personal opinion. So because once you bring the 33% reservation of MPs and MLAs, because it is going to be one shot. The way our country has to do, where our country might do is, 33% reservation has to be a forced mechanism. Correct. Because every society at a particular point of time has to force something. You have to force fit. Then within a decade, it becomes a norm. So society has to force fit. Now 33%, what happens is, once you make MPs and MLAs there, right now, the political structure is not good enough to have 33% representatives inside. Then political parties have to change. Correct. Because where will I have 33% quality women? Now straight away they have to be district. For example, BJP Tamil Nadu, one thing to answer, sir. We are the only party in Tamil Nadu which has got women president of a district. I'm not saying women's wing. I'm saying combinedly women president, which will have a women's wing also. So after I took over, in a meeting I said, look, it's time that our women force should lead us in politics. And there's no point bringing somebody as a top. You bring somebody as vice president, somebody as secretary. That is one way of solving a problem. But the permanent way is, you got to bring women folks at the mandal level, at the district level. Correct. Then everybody said, oh, sir, how is it possible? It's a male job. Till 11 o'clock we are there. How will they feel safe? How will women work till 1 o'clock in politics? Traveling 200 kilometers a day and all. Then I said, nothing doing. We're going to experiment. So 2 districts we will take. 2 districts we will appoint women as the district president of the party. Tamil Nadu, we are the only party Ours is the only 2 districts in Tamil Nadu which has got a woman president. Every other political party, every single leader at the district level is male.
Yeah.
Which we have to understand in perspective. Then when this was happening, a lot of rumblings inside. Not cooperation, not respecting them. Saying that, oh, you are a woman, so state president gave you this job. You are not eligible to come. I will not respect you. What traditionally happens many places. Yeah. So there was a meeting happening in one of our women president's constituency, district. And I was in the stage talking like this, and it's a 6-feet stage. And one drunk person caught hold of my waistee. When I was speaking, he was pulling my waistee down. And the mic was in my hand, lot of crowd, he was pulling my waistee. I don't know for what reason he wants to pull my waistee, just pulling. I am like in one hand, my waistee I am pulling, in one hand, mic I am speaking. This happened about 2 years back. My president was next to me, she saw this, she turned down, she got down a bit. I thought probably she is also trying to make this hand go away. One slap she gave, patar she gave. I could hear it there, like top, it was like, that sound was like, when he hit somebody deep, that shot he gave. I could immediately see not that person's face. I felt so happy as a cop. I saw all the male faces. Then like everybody took one step back. One pattar is like, get out, take this fellow out. Anna, calmly she was standing. That was the last day she had any trouble in that party, in that district. Last day. So sometimes what happens, sir? Many a time the society doesn't allow them to truly expose themselves as a person. So that day, she is one of our finest district president. This, she controls like this. She got a confidence in front of so many people because for her it was like a Hanuman moment. Because the society for a long time says you can't do this, you can do this, and for her she got that confidence, I can do. I hope and pray that all of our mothers and sisters and daughters will truly get that Hanuman moment. And it is that one moment they have to get it. And once they get it, sky is the limit, sir.
And in a sense, we have to create those zones of discomfort, if you will, that Hanuman moment. If we're able to create, then, automatically they will show their talent and they will realize it, more importantly.
It will happen, sir, you are right. And, the last answer I was explaining this 33% reservation. That I think is going to be a fundamental game-changing process because you are going to straight away put women in policy making. Sir, it will be 33% plus only. It is not going to be 33%. 33% minimum. Then it might touch 40. Right now, the best of the world parliaments are at 13%.
Yeah.
And India, in a decade from now, we are going to leapfrog multiple democracies to get into 33 to 40% range straight away. The best of democracies are 13%. America from 1776 is yet to get a woman president.
Correct.
Probably this time we are not sure whether it will happen, but we are waiting and watching. And that point of time, India will be the global woman powerhouse. Because this moment, which is not very widely celebrated. And one other day a person asked me, Anna, what is this, Anna? 33% they give it to women, Anna, what will we do? I am doing politics for 50 years, Anna. I said, hello brother, you sit. Now, how are we going to do it? Right now, the number of MP constituencies are 543. So nobody is going to make 1/3 of 543. The new census they will commission, that might probably say India should have 800, 850 MPs. In that 1/3 we get. So male, you are also getting more.
Correct.
From 543, you are getting 600.
Correct.
They get. Then good enough. Then I'll also go and tell others. So many a time it is also how you communicate, sir.
Correct.
In a society, in a masculine-oriented society, the communication is also masculine-oriented. So when the communication becomes poor, people don't become enablers, they become resistors.
Correct.
They will try everything to block. They will say, no, this cannot happen, that cannot happen. I think it is important for people like you and me, sir, to articulately communicate. This happens, it's good for everybody.
Correct.
It is not good for a woman or it's good for the society. And when a woman feels empowered in a big way, the society becomes much calmer, sir. I've seen this with my police sub-inspectors, inspectors.
Yeah.
That is another story like this Hanuman moment. And they come very diffident into the force. I've seen in my 9 years, day one, the woman constable, on the station, they will put roles. They will say, you go and stand somewhere outside with a lathi, stand there, and you do bandobast. then I will not say anything, sir. In a police station, when I go for rounds, I'll say, okay. First thing, I'll take a register. I'll say, okay. Station will have invariably 70, 80 people. I say, how did you allocate the role? They'll say, sir, best brains are crime constable. Best guys are intelligence fellow. Best guys are station writer. Because that is where the money comes. The best guys are this, and finally the last 10 will be woman constable. They'll say, Bandobas road, sir, Bandobas point, sir, Bandobas this thing and all. Then I'll watch, I'll keep quiet. Then next week, I'll not force anything. Next week I go, how did you do a role allocation? Every week I see the same happening. Then I slowly push. Okay, this Suguna, can we call that lady? Yes, sir. Because I have to make the sub-inspector to buy in. Because if I do an order, look, I'm an IPS officer, I've come from heaven, I'm a God-given gift, and you make this lady a station writer, everybody will make sure she gets finished in 10 days.
Correct.
And then I say, okay, Suguna, come, sit in a chair, let us have a cup of tea. What about your family? Why did you come to police? A general conversation. Then she'll open up. Sir, very tough, sir. Father and mother are coolie people. I wanted to be a cop, my passion. I wrote constable exam, I got selected. Oh, very nice, very nice. What about your family? No, sir, not married, sir. I live in a room. My father is in some 200 kilometers away. Every week I go. I could slowly see this fellow. His face gets smaller and smaller because he is able to see her as a perfect human being.
Correct.
Till then, she was a woman constable to him.
Correct.
Now, my job is to make him to see she is a well-rounded personality of her own. Somebody overcoming poverty, somebody overcoming an obstacle, somebody coming here, somebody doing this. So many a time as leaders, we don't do that. We try and put an order.
Correct.
Then I'll tell my sub-inspector, Anna, sir, give 1 week station writer. If she fails, she fails. If she wins, then everybody will say, what a great judgment of talent by our sub-inspector.
Correct.
Then you will say, okay, sir, 1 week only, sir, 1 week. But see, if she makes mistake, then correcting this FIR online is a problem. It's okay, I will take her as ASP. If she makes a mistake, we'll do it. So this, I purposely did it, sir. I purposely did it. In many places where I went, I purposely pushed these constables. I purposely pushed them deep inside to say, do this, do that, bring them. I found wherever my women constables, head constables, sub-inspectors are there, and wherever you are empowering them, sir, that station is better run.
Yeah.
It's run better.
Yeah.
And for a kind information, sir, sorry, I'm just deviating and answering
please.
because I wanted to communicate this very frankly. When I was DCP Bangalore, sir, one day, it was nobody does it, only crazy people like us do. We shut down a police station for 1 day. Because police station is not supposed, because police station don't have doors.
Correct.
And you don't see a door in a police station. Police station is 24/7 open. There's no door to it. We said we are closing down this police station. All 73 people transferred out as DCP. All 73 out. They said, sir, how can 5 lakh people of this police station limit be without police for 1 day? I said, we are trying to tell the public, police are the worst culprits in creating law and order for what you have done. So why did we do drastic steps, sir? Woman enters a police station. Complainant. She says, sir, my daughter ran away with somebody. Our daughter is missing. Or this is the person who took my daughter. Get him. Whichever way she said. It gets into an argument. Immediately, the constable will say, no, she must be in love only. Why you didn't see for last 1 year? Why are you coming and eating my head? Do you think I'm a fool? I will buy your story. And both of them might be adults and all stories he will tell. Then immediately a mother is a mother. She will get emotional. She will shout at something. And immediately this fellow caught hold of the woman's hair and bashed her against the wall. And it was brought to my attention. I went to the police station. I said, all of you get out first. Now this woman will give a complaint, register a case against the police constable for assaulting inside the police station. Number 2. Number 3, 24 hours the police station is shut. Whatever happens, I'll take responsibility as DCP. All of you are outside the station. The commissioner, sir, was kind enough